It's been 60 years since Mr. Postlethwaite opened the practice that would become Postlethwaite at Netterville, and a lot has changed since 1949.
One of the things I look back with great favor on is the way we used to handle the passing of the CPA exam. At that time, when a person would pass the exam, we would have a party that night at the country club, nice meal, drinks, lots of good fun, teasing those who passed, to sort of bring that person into the fraternity or sorority, if you will. And it was especially good for those years that I sat on the state board, because I could get the grades the day they came out, and we therefore did not have to wait for days for mail to be delivered to various people's houses. And it's always great to see the expression and see the relief on a person's face when they know that that albatross has been lifted from their neck and now they're a professional person. And it was just a great evening.
Hi there, it was Kenneth Grayson. I started at Postlethwaite as an intern in IT in 2008, and that just happened to be the same week that Cole was hanging around the office. But one day Cole decided to take a nap at my desk when I wasn't there, and Chris Ritter told everybody that that was a new IT intern. And I've been battling that stereotype as a slacker since the day I started. I just want to let everybody know I'm strictly business.
I started at P&N, or actually back then it was Postlethwaite Netterville Evans Major in 1972. After my first year of law school, I was probably the first intern that they had, although we weren't called interns back then. I started at $5 an hour, and I was employee number 026. There were only 17 of us in the firm at the time, and they didn't know what to do with the part-time accountant at the time, so they actually gave me a desk that was kind of wedged into a closet on the old 8th floor there at the Fidelity Bank building. So I worked part-time my last 2 years of law school, and I would ride my bike to work and chain it to the parking meter downtown and go in and work. Matter of fact, one day I was riding down 3rd Street heading to work, and Mr. Postlethwaite and Jake were walking back to the office from the City Club with a client, so I yelled at them and waved as I rode by. And ended up, when I was offered a full-time job, Mr. Postlethwaite suggested that I buy a car and cut my hair.
I started working at Postlethwaite Netterville in 2001, and really, to be honest with you, nothing's really changed. Still get calls at all hours on weekends and at night from George Bauhoff. Steve Sandahl still is the technology leader for the firm, setting the pace. And for P&N Tech, every day still casual day.
Many things have changed over the years. One of the major things that's changed over the years is frankly that the new staff people no longer have to fill the ice box that contains the Coca-Colas. I was 32 years old when I came to work at this firm in 1979, a mere 30 years ago, And I can remember as a 32-year-old, I was older than most of the staff people, and I can remember a young 23-year-old person smiling at me saying, "You're the new person here. You have to fill up the icebox now with Cokes." And he smiled and left, and then sure enough, I did. So I just had to fill it up for a while until somebody new came along.
Remember David Cohn, he used to work here. Well, whenever we first merged, George Balhoff came over here with Lonnie Stockwell, and they were going to go to a client in New Orleans East. And if you know anything about David, he had that very old car, this yellow Datsun, and he worked on it. And he had the dash off, so that when George Balhoff got in the car, he's sitting there, there's no dash, he's got all these wires, and he also has, if you move the floor mats, you could see through to the ground. So you've got these two big guys sitting in this car, and they're gonna go over the high rise. This is a very old car. David believed in saving, keeping his cars forever. So he's driving this car, and he starts working up this momentum. He's gone through the 610 Splint, and he's working up this momentum. He's going to 75, 80 miles per hour, and George is looking at him, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And David says, "You got to understand, if I don't work up the momentum, I'm not going to get over the high rise." By the time they got to the top of the high rise, he was going 50 miles per hour. George understood why he needed to work up the momentum. So George would never ride with David Cohn again.
Some of the one Donaldsonville story that sticks out for me is, I guess shredders were new to us. We never knew what a shredder was. So Mike Shakespeare one day goes to shred, and he shreds a piece of paper, and he's got a tie on, and the tie gets caught in the shredder. And he goes all the way down, finally clicks it off. We got to put it in reverse to get him out of there, and then he's walking around with a shredded tie. I wish I still had that tie, but I don't.
In the staff room 1, which is where I hung out in and audit, lots of practical jokes every day. And one in particular that got me is somebody, I think his name is Trey Allwood, but somebody emptied a hole punch container into my umbrella. And after about my second or third week of being here at Postal Wade, I walked out the front doors, it was raining, and I popped open that umbrella. Confetti, hole punch scraps went everywhere, and they were all dying laughing because now I was wet and drenched with confetti. And that went around for a while, but it was a lot of fun like that.
Happy anniversary, PNN.
Happy anniversary, PNN.
60 years.
Happy anniversary, PNN.
60 years.
Happy anniversary, PNN.
Happy anniversary, PNN. 60 years.
60 years.
Happy anniversary, PNN.
60 years? That's a long time.
Happy anniversary, PNN. 60 years.
Happy anniversary, PNN.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. 60 years.
60 years.
Happy 60th anniversary.
60 years.
60 years.
I missed it.
Happy anniversary, PNN. Happy anniversary, PNN. 60 years.
Happy anniversary, PNN.